Does that front three for Liverpool still give Liverpool the edge when we're talking about potential champions again?
Well, if you look at we've started talking over the last 4 or 5 years about numbers. The numbers have gone off the scale, and Messi and Ronaldo have driven that. And these, what would be underlings, are trying to get to that level whereby you've seen Raheem Sterling, you've seen Sané and Salah, Firmino, Mane at Liverpool. They've got a drive towards that 35, 40 goals a season. It's ridiculous numbers, and the assists sometimes match. But let me just take you through sort of these statistics here. These are the last 4 seasons of the Premier League champions. And if you look at the numbers, goals and assists, there's a theme. You know, mid to late 40s in the goals, and then between 20s and 30s in the assists. And if you look at those sort of Manchester City numbers in the middle, which is the average per goal and assists, average minutes per goals and assists, you're talking here about basically impacting nearly every single match. But certainly under the 125 minutes per goal or assist for those front threes. These are ridiculous numbers, absolutely ridiculous. And if you take it back to where Chelsea are trying to get to and why Frank Lampard's done what he's done, to start with, and the pretenders, if you like, that are trying to get to Liverpool and Manchester City's numbers. You look at sort of Chelsea last season, sort of well below that those numbers. Mid-30s, 14, still good, but nowhere near the levels that need to be achieved. You look at the sort of 139, 140 minutes, again, not good enough. But if you look at the new signings that Frank has brought in and Chelsea have brought in, if they hit their numbers in the Premier League, and this is the unpredictable element of what we don't know that's going to happen this season with Chelsea, if they hit their numbers that they did at their previous clubs, Werner, Havertz and Ziyech, they're going to basically get to that level whereby you're nearly at Manchester City numbers. And that's the element of unknown. Can they hit those numbers? And you put Pulisic into that as well, who we think is going to grow this year. And that's the unknown with Chelsea. If they hit those numbers, they're going to be knocking on the door if they can sort the goalkeeping situation out. For Manchester United, they're already at absolutely fantastic numbers. Rashford, Martial and Greenwood. And they are the pretenders to the sort of Liverpool and City's crown in terms of the front threes. They're not quite there at the level yet in terms of maturity and experience, but you think their numbers are getting there already, and they're at that 113 minutes. We've just put Sancho into the Greenwood as an exercise to see what that would do if Manchester United were to try and get that signing over the line. It's a big if. But look at what it would do. You're talking about reducing by 20 minutes the average goal and assist down to a level that was where Manchester City were in those 2 seasons where they won the title. All signings and recruitment now is done by data analysts. Obviously, it's done by the eye. You can see with your own eye, but it's backed up by data. It's backed up by people who are scientific. Liverpool have been doing it for years, but all the other clubs are trying to get there. And these are the numbers that they're looking at. They've got to get to that level. Obviously, there's defensive numbers, but they've got to get to those attacking numbers. And that's why Sancho's looking to be brought in at United. It's why Chelsea have made those signings.
Do you think Liverpool would be looking anxiously at those other clubs if they do manage to just complete those jigsaw puzzles?
Yeah, I think so. I think it'd be a lot tighter, a lot closer. I actually believe even if Manchester United don't bring in the players Chelsea have done, I still think Manchester United, for me, will be the closest challenger to the top 2. I think.
Is that because of the power of the front three?
Yes, but I think the signing of Fernandes, that's enough. He's going to be there for a full season. He made a huge difference when he came in from January. I thought he was outstanding. And if he can continue that this season, I think they could go a lot closer. I think the thing we should remember with Chelsea as well, bringing all these players in, the most difficult thing in management, and this is something I remember Alex Ferguson saying, was managing change. Frank's managing change after 12 months at his club. Normally a manager manages change after having a cycle of 4 to 5 years and the team needs to evolve and move on. Frank's bringing 6, 7 players in. That is not easy. So Chelsea could easily go backwards. They're bringing those players in to actually propel them forwards and get those numbers, and they had to make changes. I get that, but it can easily go the other way. It's not easy to sort of bring those type of players and make it all gel. And we know for certain, not every transfer is going to work. Not all those players have been brought in are going to be successful. So that's why I still see United as possibly being the closest challenge at the top 2.